and welcome to Dirt Sheet Mania. I am, as always, your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, alongside the Director of Creativity he creates so you can procrastinate, Kieran Smith. Hey, Kieran, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Craig.
How you doing, man?
Are you rising above hate today?
Is this Goldberg?
This is Goldberg's, yeah.
WCW?
No, this is W.
This is the new one.
It's WWE, yeah.
The newer one.
Birthday present of the brother.
Oh, of the good brother.
The good brother,
The
yeah.
intern, James Smith. Hi, guys. Dirt Sheet Mania back with our new setup. And I don't mean like the set or anything, apart from the lighting, though. Nice lighting.
Yeah, I worked on that.
We worked on that.
Yeah.
So we are going to hopefully be doing Raw, SmackDown, then we're going to do NXT, a little bit 205 Live.
It's an end of the week review show, and then sort of a little bit of a preview to next week's World of Wrestling. Because
this is Sunday, we're doing it now, and hopefully this will be out Sunday night, Monday morning.
We'll try on Sundays. Sundays are going to be your go-to day. Sundays, Dirt Sheet Mania.
1 hour show.
1 hour show,
with
max.
Everything in.
With everything.
So Raw, and we're going to do 3 main points of Raw, 3 main points of SmackDown, obviously, and then we're going to do 1 minute power minutes of each little bit after that, which will, 1, keep this video to a reasonable time, 2, stop us two talking like a couple of old men on a park bench, just, oh yes, do you remember the days when the 90s where wrestling was good and all that kind of stuff. So, yes, enjoy. Let's start, and we're going to talk. So after Raw and SmackDown, it's 205 Live, Mixed Match Challenge, bit of NXT.
Just general everything else. You know, it's just things we need to talk about. It gives us the opportunity to talk about not just WWE stuff, obviously NXT. We said that last week, like All In would have been a perfect example to fit in at this point as well. So it just gives us a general, just talk about the week of wrestling, basically.
Awesome. So. And let's kick it off now by talking about what sort of happened on Hell in a Cell and going into Monday Night Raw with the return of the Beast, Brock Lesnar. He surprisingly returned at Hell in a Cell, and he, not to a very popular decision, they decided not to go with a finish for the main event of Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Kieran.
I don't like this at all. I mean, look. So we found out that Brock Lesnar's obviously appearing because he's going to be at Crown Jewel and he's probably getting $1 million to be at that event.
He wasn't at the last one, was he?
Yes, he was. Yeah. He faced.
Oh, he did that in the cage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so the non-finish, it's a
Hell in a Cell.
No one's meant to get in the cell. Now I understand if you get out of the cell and you get on top of the cell, but it gives them the opportunity to do that. But this is meant to be a match where Roman and Braun are meant to beat the living hell out of each other. And Braun cashed in his briefcase as well. You've got to remember that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So, like, he lost his opportunity because of someone else's interference.
But the match never fit, like, I don't know. Okay, the briefcase is gone. I don't know how you guys thought about that, whether you were happy to see Brock Lesnar at Hell in a Cell. I like the fact he didn't have a WWE brand T-shirt. It was a black one. That. Yeah, it was very much an invasion-y type. I'm not supposed to be here.
It didn't feel like that, but because
he had an entrance and he had music. Yeah. Like if he'd have come through the crowd, huge pop.
Yeah,
huge pop.
It's just the little things at the moment that WWE seem to just forget. Things like this that usually they're quite good at the small little things, but lately
they have been better at it. But yeah, I think...
Well, lately they can't even work out who's face and who's heel, but it's fine.
Well, we'll get to that, I'm sure, in due course. So yeah, I enjoyed that. So on Raw, we found out that Kurt has told Brock and Braun, and Roman...
Baron Corbin told, not Kurt. Kurt's obviously...
Where is Kurt, Kieran?
Kurt's currently getting prepared to wrestle again full time.
Against Baron Corbin.
He's currently learning how to walk properly.
Probably, but his poor knees though.
Yeah.
He Corbin in the incident, Constable Corbin or Deputy General Manager or whatever he is, Sergeant
Constable Corbin.
Constable Corbin. We get kicked off before we even start this. He announced that there will be a triple threat match at Crown Jewel for the Universal title, which is effectively Brock's official rematch and sort of Braun's.
So I think this is 5 days after Evolution, this Crown Jewel event. I think they said it was like November 2nd, Evolution.
Sorry, none of you can be on the show, but sorry again. Here's your own pay-per-view.
We're giving the women a show. We need to give the men another show.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised they're going back to Saudi so quickly.
Yeah, they paid so much money for it to happen.
The WWE are going to get whereas normally you kind of have to pay your talent and go over there. The WWE are going to make a fortune.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
So yeah, the Braun. So yes, three-way Crown Jewel
books that, and then Corbin books himself in the main event
Universal title match.
Yeah,
which I said he would do the night before. So I was kind of right then, and I was kind of right about the other four getting involved in the cell. Yeah. They ended up on top of Hell in a Cell.
Which had why? they're nothing to do with the match. They're on top of the cell. Surely it should be Roman and Braun on top of the cell.
It was like, so these two are a bit big to go up there, especially Braun. Should we get the 4 smaller guys to come out?
It's just this booking doesn't make like it makes sense. I think it's a great little like the Shield versus the Dogs of War. I like that. I like that aspect of it. But they just seem to be going, we'll just put this all together and just let them fight. It seems very Attitude Era, but it just doesn't. It's not coming off as Attitude Era like But
like I like the fact that I don't like the fact there's going to be a match at Crown Jewel, because I think that's quite a big match that could happen at a big American pay-per-view. I'm not being like, it has to happen in England because we deserve that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I think that's something that could have happened on a big WWE pay-per-view on the network, or it could have happened not in, again, Saudi Arabia, where it's clear as day that...
Well, it's quite weird with the next couple of pay-per-views, because obviously you've got Super Showdown in Australia, big event.
Odd.
Then you've got Crown Jewel, which is going to be in Saudi Arabia in the same stadium. The Greatest Royal Rumble, big event. Then you've got Survivor Series, while it's going to be in a smaller arena. Survivor Series is one of the big 4. So it's a weird time of year for pay-per-views.
It was, and let's be honest, the last time we went to Saudi Arabia, it was just after WrestleMania, before Backlash. Was it a week after WrestleMania?
A week before Backlash.
Backlash, and it made Backlash look completely ridiculous. Even that, and it was just after the draft as well, which made the
weird time of year.
Very weird time of year. Second thing I want to talk about from Raw, which is our second of our 3 main topics, is Ronda Rousey kind of getting pushed nice and gently by the Bellas and Natty into an open challenge. It was more by the Bellas, I think. Now, what then later happened is that Ronda came out. She was like, do you know what? Let's do this. Open challenge. Who wants a shot at my title? Now, Natty's music hit. Do you think, Kieran, that Natty was actually coming out to challenge her, and that the Riot Squad just saw her in the gorilla position, or saw her coming out and beat her down because they saw the opportunity? Or was it a ruse from the Riot Squad altogether?
I think, I don't know. Like
come on, get off your fence.
I think
get off your fence.
I'm trying to. It takes a while to mould these days.
It might hurt your bum, but you got to get off.
It would. I get splinters up my ass.
Sexy.
I think Natalya was genuinely coming out from a kayfabe perspective, obviously. But look, I like the fact that Ronda has the occasional match on Raw. Like,
I think she has to. Otherwise, she's going to get this Brock Lesnar kind of.
I think that's where they're learning from their mistakes. That Ronda has it, and it's not every week, and I like that. And I like it.
But she's there.
She's there.
She's there every week, which is such an important part.
She has the aura of a champion.
She does.
She has the mystique of like, can someone beat her? Like, and even on Raw.
Do you know what? This is going to sound really weird. I don't want to kind of go too off our topic, but I still look at her and I still see a bit of a UFC, but I just see Ronda Rousey the wrestler.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think
they've done a really good job with her
in such a short space of time.
Yeah.
In reality,
so this is obviously ultimately leading to Super Showdown, where they have a 6-man tag, Ronda and the Bellas versus the Riot Squad.
Yes.
So
which we knew about.
Yeah.
Before. They couldn't wait.
This is also the problem with Super Showdown. It's a great idea. The Australians deserve to have a pay-per-view.
They do. We keep saying we do, but they do too. They do too.
But they've had to release a lot of matches before even SummerSlam, things like that, to get people to sell it, because they're trying to fill up a 70,000 seater stadium.
We knew at the last Saudi Arabia show, We knew at the last Saudi Arabia show that Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy would win the tag titles because the bar on SmackDown, it was the Raw tag team titles.
Yeah.
We knew that match would happen because of the draft, because of the titles, because of the implications. We knew the bar weren't going to win a Raw tag title. Okay, going into Super Showdown, there's no actual titles on the line in this match, but it was like, well, we kind of knew at some point the Riot Squad and that we're going to have some sort of altercation.
Yeah.
So
the rumor for Evolution is that Ronda will be defending her title against Nikki Bella
in the main event.
Probably. I think it would have to be, and it's quite a good main event, because although Ronda's not she's not a diva. And she's not part of the Evolution in my eyes. She's in a different group altogether. She is like the image of women and women's empowerment and everything like that.
I agree.
And she's facing what you'd say is probably the face of the Divas division, like the best Divas champion, right now. So I think it'd be a good little interesting mix in how they play that.
When all those call ups, I'm talking Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky got called up by Steph. Was Nikki the Divas champion?
She was, yeah.
So, perfect there. She's the embodiment of what it was and what it's becoming, and Ronda is now what it has become.
I think Maria Kanellis said something like she was on Twitter and she was answering questions as wrestlers do.
She's been very active on Instagram, putting lots of old New Japan Ring of Honor booty shots
of her ass,
of her bum.
I don't mind. I don't mind. But
good, hashtag good brother sing me softly and all that good stuff. You know?
So she said that someone asked the question, would you like, what sort of secondary division title would you like to see in the women's division?
Yeah.
And she said, I'd like to see the Divas title because I think you need to embrace the fact that the Divas title was part of the evolution. And I agree with that. And Nikki being a face of that Divas division, facing against the new breed, so to speak.
I agree.
Especially for Evolution, for pay-per-view, I think works really well.
I think it's only a matter of time before you turn. Maybe it's difficult because Brie is definitely seen more as the babyface because of Bryan on SmackDown. This is the problem of going on both shows. And Brie and Nikki, you could turn heel. Nikki's been heel lots of times. She even at one stage sided with Stephanie. When she faced her own sister. But I would love to see a Divas heel group. As we are the diva, like Carmella was saying, I am a diva and I am proud of it. She said in a segment not so long ago. That could be
interesting. And obviously the Ronda match is going to have a few more bells and whistles, so maybe that could happen.
It could. Are we talking about the one at Evolution, not at the 6-man tag or 6-woman tag?
So if Nikki is to have to turn heel, will she be heel enough? Because I think she's got a lot of sympathy after the whole John Cena thing. So I think
this is the problem with.
Do they want to? This is where the plug on that. I don't know.
This is why social media, in some ways, again, if you agree with us, let us know. But I think in some ways, social media has affected the WWE in a potentially negative way here, because if people were like, I think Nikki's going out with John Cena, but nobody really knows. If this was the 90s, you'd be like, I think Stephanie and I think Triple H and China are going out. I'm not entirely sure. Or is
you'd have to call Mean Gene on the old WCW hotline to find out stuff out.
Or like when X-Pac had Tori, it was like, is Tori and X-Pac going out? I'm pretty sure they are, mate. Yeah, I mean they're on screen all the time. It's like, no, you didn't really know, did you? You kind of made your own mind up. You know, Andrade Cien Almas and Selena Vega, they're going out with each other. Yeah. Are they now?
Apparently they're not.
No, they're not.
They see each other as brother and sister.
Well, that's fine.
Bit weird.
And she used to go to Austin Aries.
I don't think she's with Austin anymore.
You don't think? Again, social media. Social media. So we'll see where this one goes. But I think Ronda and Nikki do main event, and I do at some point think Nikki turns heel, because I don't know if you can have a face with Ronda at the moment. I just don't think.
Let's be honest. The match that should headline it should be Charlotte and Becky.
If we're honest, but we'll get to that. Trust me, we'll talk about Charlotte and Becky when we get to SmackDown. We will talk about Becky Lynch. She's so brilliant. And our last thing I want to talk about is also going forward to both the Super Showdown and to the Crown Jewel event that's going to happen in Saudi Arabia, and that is Triple H versus The Undertaker. Now, Taker came out on Raw and he said that he will be having Kane in his corner.
After a generous donation by Vince McMahon to the Knox County something or other, which, $100,000. Fair enough.
Day release.
Yeah.
So Kane will be in The Undertaker's corner at Super Showdown.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't know. I didn't see that coming personally.
No.
I decided not to read. I mean, they may have been put down somewhere, but I decided to not bother reading all these sort of like, this might happen and this might happen, because you kind of lose the point of the show.
Yeah.
Like on the pay-per-view on Hell in a Cell, there was lots of links to big WWE old champion is backstage, and I was like, do I click on this, or am I going to go to bed before the show finishes? And I watched the whole thing, and I, in my head, thought, it's Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
It was Brock, and I'm glad I didn't click on that, because it would have spoiled what would have potentially happened in the main event for me.
Spoilers before events anyway.
No, it's waste of time.
Like the Royal Rumble, just be surprised.
Just don't look at the betting odds either. Yeah. And so Kane being in the Undertaker's corner, great, 2-on-2. I'm almost looking past this match now, because the humongous rumour, even Mr. Meltzer, who again, some people might not like him, some people do, it's kind of up to you really. A lot of the stuff he comes out with turns out not to be true, but he has a lot of credibility. He's basically a media legend, really. Yeah. He's like the godfather of
wrestling media in some ways.
We wouldn't be doing this probably without Meltzer. Has reported that The Undertaker and Kane will be wrestling both Triple H and Shawn Michaels at the Crown Jewel in tag team action. Now, I don't know how much money, it's impossible to know, but apparently these four gentlemen are going to be paid handsomely if this tag match happens.
If Lesnar's rumoured to be getting $1 million, surely Michaels is be getting $1 million.
More. He's never said it's about the money. Shawn Michaels has always said, The reason he didn't sort of face AJ Styles at WrestleMania last year was because he'd obviously lose, but why?
Yeah.
He has to have a reason. There's no point Shawn Michaels of 50-something coming in with short hair, different HBK to the one that retired against the dead man at 24.
He's just a middle-aged boy.
Middle-aged boy. I've got short hair now. Short hair now. It doesn't really go.
It doesn't
but he'd want a point. Now, I think if this tag match does happen, I think either Kane gets pinned or Triple H gets pinned. I don't see Taker and I don't see Taker and Michaels will have that stare down.
So that storyline of when HBK were there was at Raw. Taker come out and says basically you don't want to come out of retirement because you're scared to face me. Now look,
if
Undertaker's going to retire, and we've been saying he's going to retire probably last 5 years, right, at WrestleMania.
Seriously, for the last 5 years.
Would HBK be the perfect opponent to retire the Undertaker?
So then they've technically retired each other.
Yeah.
But then Shawn Michaels has to technically.
But I think in terms of a storyline perspective, if HBK comes out of retirement and says, "If you can beat me, I retire," HBK's real last match, I think,
is against Undertaker.
I like the fact that Shawn Michaels was retired and is not wrestling. I like the fact
he's the only
there
one.
Are specific storylines that it could work where he comes back. Technically, he had a match at WrestleMania. Well, he had a moment at WrestleMania where he
super kicked them.
Yeah, at WrestleMania.
And Austin, Mick Foley.
Yeah, it wasn't a match
with the League of Nations. Yeah. No, it wasn't a match. And then they danced with the New Day. Yeah, so, I remember that.
But I think this would work, and I think this is all leading to a Taker Michaels match at WrestleMania. I mean, in New York.
Singles?
Yeah.
At
WrestleMania 35.
The one that I'm going to try and get a ticket for?
Yeah. I think it'll be Taker Michaels. I think they'll see it as Taker's last match and then retire.
Well, I'm going to be in New York when that WrestleMania's on, and I'm desperately trying to get a ticket. It's not out yet. I think it's November time to start the Survivor Series. So I will be trying to get a ticket.
I think it'd sell quite well.
I think it's
WrestleMania sells anyway, but if you put Taker versus Michaels
on the
announced just before those tickets come out, everyone's going to go, "Yep."
I will literally be on the website.
So
right, that's our 3 main points. We are now going to go through 4 little points that happened on Raw, 1 minute each. Are you ready, Kieran? Ready? When that says 17:30, we're going to crack on. Ready? Go. So the first one is Leo Rush. He was coming out talking to Elias. He is now the official. What's the word they're looking for? Him and Bobby Lashley. They are associates.
Well, manager.
Yeah, no. He's not.
Yeah,
they've not officially said manager.
They haven't. They
have.
Leo Rush said on commentary he's a manager. I think WWE are looking at bringing back more managers because I think they.
Well, I tell you what, he's a phenomenal athlete.
Yep.
Phenomenal athlete, Leo Rush.
That little spot on Raw just showed exactly what he can bring. He's talking on the mic,
great
but
talker.
He can also jump around and.
How crazy is it at the moment that 2 of the only managers in WWE are 205 Live cruiserweights or general managers?
Yep.
So the way
it gives Leo Rush, Leo Rush is 22, 23, gives him a little opportunity to be on Raw, not to wrestle, but it gives him the spotlight.
What I want to talk to you about is that Bobby Lashley's now a heel, or is he a face, or is he that really in between? Because he's beating up him and Kevin Owens are going at it, and he's also being in with Elias, who's a heel. Kevin Owens is a heel, but Leo Rush is kind of a heel.
Lashley's a face.
Lashley's a face, right? Okay,
Leo Rush is a face as well.
We've got to move on. AOP are smashing teams. They are smashing teams. They're getting the Braun Strowman and Nia Jax treatment when they both came up. They've pressed the reset button on the AOP. Where do they go to next? What happens to the AOP?
Keep beating people up.
Keep going through local teams.
I think with Drake
then do you start feeding them like Seth, Rhino and Slater?
At some point,
that's the next team up. Breezango
coming out party, so to speak, shall we say, will be a Survivor Series
when they win the titles.
No,
is it too soon?
No, they'll be in some sort of 5-on-5 match, and they'll be.
Last 2.
They'll take out.
Or even Drake could be in that team.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. I just think they'll be on a 5-on-5 team, and and they take out a few people and dominate. Not dominate. They probably still won't win the match, so to speak, but they'll take out 2 or 3 big names.
What if they take out some names and get DQ'd? Because they're really illegally.
But the thing is, now that they have a manager, which should probably have been Paul Ellering, but now they've got Drake Maverick, his storyline. To have that make sense, I think it will work wonders.
Dolph Ziggler got to the building and Corbin said to him, "You are having your rematch tonight because Seth's not here, he's hurt. You're going to get your rematch and he's not going to show up, so you will be given the Intercontinental title." Seth turned up, wrestled, won. Corbin's dirty tricks, trying to win the WWE title. He's kind of part of this Hounds of Justice, this Dogs of War, isn't he? Like a brief extension of them. He's trying to help them win WWE title. He's trying to win the WWE title. They tried to help him in the main event win the WWE title, the Universal title.
It's typically it's typically a heel. He's a great in terms of a heel general manager, so to speak. Are they using this to try and get people to still cheer Roman? Like, it all just everything turning all the heels against the Shield. Obviously, Roman's the head of the Shield, so to speak.
Is he the head?
Well, yeah, but
he's the Universal Champion.
Yeah, exactly. He's the one that I think is still there to try and get some sympathy for Roman, to keep people on Roman's side, because they have made people want to cheer Roman, and I think they're trying to keep that happening.
Is Corbin doing a good job? Yes,
yeah, I'd say so.
Cool.
I mean, in terms of what he's doing, yes. Yeah. Obviously, what he's doing. But
and lastly, I want to talk about how you think Nia Jax is. Nia Jax is now back on Monday Night Raw. She had a brief injury.
I think so.
She's back. Looks obviously better than ever.
Yeah.
When does she go back for that title? Because she hasn't. Has she had a? She had a rematch. She lost against Alexa.
Yeah.
And then she did have the rematch.
Yeah.
She lost again.
Yeah.
How long does it take for her to go back up to that top spot?
I think you build. I think after Evolution. I mean, they'll try and find her a match at Evolution. Who that'd be, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
do you find one of these really kind of tall, strong women from the mixed Mae Young Classic, or do you just have her going against like Alicia Fox? Or
what's Beth Phoenix doing?
Ooh, hello. Apart from doing,
I think rumours that Renee Young will be as play-by-play at Evolution. I'd love it to be all female.
Renee's play-by-play.
Apparently so. That's
the only men you'll have on that show with the refs.
Yeah, I'd like it to be that. Like, I'd love them to obviously have more women's referees.
There's a new woman in the tall one with the ponytail. You got the Jessica, who's been there a little while, about a year, and you got another one that was in quite tall. She was debuted on television. I've seen her on pictures on house shows and things like that. So she's in now. But hey, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So right, that's Raw, and that's all in about 22 minutes. We've done Monday Night Raw, the whole of Raw.
That's pretty good.
It's a new record.
It is a new record.
We are now, guys, going to change our attention to the blue brand, 205 Live, to SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live, not 205 Live. Again, same thing, 3 main points, and then we're going to go into the 4 mini topics at the end of it. First things first, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. I love Becky.
She's getting cheered, isn't she?
And it's like, we don't want her to be cheered, but she's doing such a great job. Let me tell you what she did on SmackDown. I know you know any, but for the guys at home, she demanded Charlotte strap the belt around her back.
Typically a heel move.
And then she demanded she call her queen.
Typically a heel move.
And the place lost their absolute shit for it.
So I'll put it out there, and obviously people have said this as well. I'm not taking credit for it. But is Becky Lynch the new Stone Cold Steve Austin? Now, I know when you sort of everyone, CM Punk's the new Stone Cold, Lardy, anyone else could be the new Stone Cold. Randy Orton was the new Stone Cold at one point,
Yeah, well, yeah.
So
when he was like going through that beating up women stage,
but she's getting cheered, and they're trying to make her a heel, but the crowd doesn't seem to. They're just cheering her and cheering.
I was a bit sceptical because you texted me saying, "I've seen this, that is Becky the new Stone Cold Steve Austin," and you text me saying, do we call her the new Stone Cold? And I thought about it for a couple of minutes because I don't want a top woman to be compared to a bloke. I just think the way we're going at the moment, it's probably not something WWE want to happen. But then I thought about it a bit longer, and I thought, we're not just comparing her we're not just to a bloke, we're comparing her to a 6-time WWE champion when there was only
arguably one of the best of all time.
When there was only one world title about. Yeah. You couldn't just win a belt on Raw and go to SmackDown and win another one.
Well, you'd go to Nitro.
Well, you could go to Nitro, but he's a WWE,
Or you'd go ECW.
He you know what I mean.
Or you'd go NWA.
You know what I mean, NWA.
Or you know what
I mean. And he's a Hall of Famer. The one of the most, if not alongside The Rock, the most recognizable person. Even my dad knows who Stone Cold Steve Austin is, and my dad knows nothing about wrestling. So actually, it's a real big compliment comparing Becky Lynch to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Huge compliment.
So it all started because Charlotte, I don't want to say weaseled her way into the match triple threat.
She did it fairly.
Yeah.
Paige told her to win a match against Carmella. She did that. She then got put into the triple threat match. So she's done everything per the book.
But it's a typical heel thing where the heel says the truth, and it is the truth.
It's spot on though.
It's spot on.
There's no way of looking around it.
The heels always try and twist the truth. And twist it around and say, well, this is why I'm not getting the opportunity. But everything's true.
Everything's
Charlotte's
true.
Been given opportunity. Charlotte's a 7-time women's champion.
Ugh.
right?
That makes me a bit sick.
It does make me a little
Like
sick.
Charlotte is, and might at one point once she retires, might go down as the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
Of course, yeah.
And fair play to her. But at this very point in time, Becky Lynch is saying the truths, and she's walking with a swagger. She's walking with her chest out, her chin up, and she's going to every time she walks to the ring, every time she does a promo.
So she should, because she is the queen. She should walk around like she owns the place.
But I mean, I feel it though.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I do too.
There's a difference between being the champ.
It's hard to not want to do the old Ric Flair strut, went to her music, half the time.
It's the Dana Brooke one when Dana was with Charlotte. Yeah. It's not only being, because people, hundreds of people have been women's and WWE champion and Intercontinental champion, all sorts, but it's when you see them and you think, yeah, they are the champ, and you feel that they're the champ. And with Becky now, I feel as if she's got this unbridled momentum, and I'm looking forward to seeing who she wrestles at Evolution.
It'd be Charlotte, wouldn't it?
Well, will it be?
I'm pretty sure it will be. They've got a Super Showdown, but they're
I would really like her to face Charlotte in maybe a slight gimmick match. Maybe an Iron Man.
Steel cage.
That'd be cool. I would like that. Yeah. I think these two have got a great opportunity.
I just want to make 2 quick points before we move on.
Quickly.
So...
I said quickly.
All right, I'm trying.
Come on.
So do you think Charlotte is slowly going the way of Roman Reigns, where the crowd are slowly starting to turn on her? Because she is the face of the division. They are WWE's pick.
Is it a 2-part question or...?
No. Okay. It's sort of linked in.
So, no, because this is just a booking problem.
Yeah.
They've booked Roman to be strong, and he got booed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the crowd deciding Roman. They're getting booed. Charlotte got booed because the way they did it. And actually, when Becky's doing these promos, this is where they're trying to... Are you a heel or are you a face? But so, no, I don't think that's an issue.
And is Charlotte better as a face or a heel?
Heel.
You think she's better as a heel?
Yeah,
okay,
cool. Personally. Yeah. You?
Is Ric Flair better as a face or heel?
Heel.
Right, cool.
I know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, no, and you think that's the same?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it works. Her persona works better as a heel. I can see why it works as a face, because Ric Flair got cheered, obviously, because Ric Flair's Ric Flair. Great.
When you become a legend, you get the respect.
Exactly.
But as a wrestler, there should be heels. Kieran, there's no more Rusev Day.
There is no more Rusev. everyone cried a bit like that.
A little bit a bit like this, probably with more emotion.
Yeah.
I kind of guessed this might happen at the pay-per-view, didn't I?
Yeah.
Didn't I?
Until they moved it off to the kickoff show.
And then we decided it definitely wouldn't happen. Yeah. And then he did it on Raw. And did it on SmackDown.
I liked how it developed from backstage, where Rusev was getting ready for his US title match against Shinsuke. Mm-hmm. And then Aiden English started going, like, talking to him, saying, I can't believe this. I can't believe he's not letting me help and everything like that. And obviously Lana catches him. And it's like, oh, hello. That's, the cameras are still rolling. So then Lana goes, I must talk to Rusev.
She speaks the California accent now.
Dodgy Californian Russian hybrid accent.
Fade it out! And
then Lana's obviously trying to talk to Rusev, but Rusev is so focused. And then it develops on into the match. Now, whether at that point Aiden English decided to do it, or he got up on the ring apron on purpose, or he just decided that he had enough after the match. I don't know. And I think that works.
That's a very interesting point, because I think during the match, I still think he wants Rusev to win the US title. I really do think he does. And then to tie in with what you were saying about what happened backstage, the fact that he didn't listen to him, and Rusev's going, get down. Yeah. If anything, that's her line. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You idiot, get down. And then he literally gets rolled up straight after. There's no Kinshasa from Nakamura. And Nakamura feeds on the scraps. He basically goes, right, I'm going to pick you off there. Bang, 1, 2, 3. And then Aiden English runs around, jumps in the other side, and batters him basically with the mic as well.
Constant punches.
That's not pleasant.
Seems to be a very big thing on SmackDown at the moment, that they seem to be very, very physical, more physical than so on Raw.
Well, we'll talk about something else happened with Randy later on. Yeah, that's a physical.
They seem to be like, usually it's just one hit with a microphone, and then they'll just throw it away, 3 punches. But this was just dig with the microphone, and it looked Samoa Joe perfect example. Randy Orton, perfect example. Seems to be more physical lately. Maybe they've been told, "No, let's bring it a little bit more. Let's try and get it, make it look and feel a bit more real."
A bit.
So,
well, we've always said if you're going to have Raw and SmackDown as close to two separate entities as possible, let's at least try and make one of them feel like it's not the same as Raw. So Raw's the flagship. Raw's going to be WWE. Let's have SmackDown feel like a little less like of WWE, a little bit more something different. And I think that's maybe what they've done there.
Where do you see Aiden English going from here?
So I have said, I think I've written in our notes, I think you think you probably had a read as well. I actually think Aiden English now needs a female companion, because I think the next step, so on SmackDown, whether it's this week or the next week, I can see English being paired with a female to go against Rusev and Lana, because I think just seeing English versus Rusev, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I think it'll lose steam.
And I know that sounds a bit shitty of me, because
I think Aiden English this is one of these potential things where a tag team splits up and you have a little push, but then he just goes by the wayside.
Because they're going to have a rivalry, he has to win the rivalry. He has to win. Will he? Don't know. Don't think so.
Who would you pair with English?
Well, that's
let's
really difficult.
Let's include every woman you can think possible.
That's really difficult.
It's very difficult, because I don't think there's anyone on SmackDown.
Do you know what?
Could add.
If you dumbed her down, I know they're already on SmackDown as well, but the first person I thought of was Nikki Cross. But I don't think you can, because Sanity are on SmackDown too.
She's established that character,
and she's too established.
So
I wouldn't want when I say put a woman with him, I don't mean stick her in heels, stick her in a skirt and an Aiden English day top. Yeah. I mean, more of a gritty kind of.
So I know she's on Raw, but the first person when you said that, and I don't know why I thought it. I thought Alicia Fox.
Yeah,
because she seems that sort of character that has a loose relationship with someone and want to beat up Lana, and she's a credible enough heel.
Let's be honest.
So to speak.
Let's be honest. They took Nikki Cross, who was her original character in NXT was just I'm Nikki Cross, and then they went right. We're going to wet your hair. We're going to tell you to just be a banshee, and go mental.
What about Aiden English with the Iconics?
Yeah, see, that's the other thing I was thinking. But there's two of them, you see.
But that doesn't mean that Rusev can't get Naomi or Asuka or another Russian speaking broad to do a day.
I do think that they need to bring someone from the Mae Young Classic.
Maybe.
Who's the lady that looks like she's from Glow? There's one. She wrestled on. Do you know what I mean? She's got like black hair.
Yeah, it's not Ariel Monroe, because that's Cedric Alexander's.
She's awesome, by the way. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Mixed match challenge.
She was in one of the first. She was in the first week.
Was it the first week? Do you know the one I mean though?
Yeah, I know.
Because I instantly thought, that's her. Yeah, that's her. TV's going to turn off in 5 minutes, by the way.
Sweet, cool. That's fine. We'll let it turn off.
We'll let it turn off. Okay. So yeah, Rusev and Lana will eventually go against English and a woman, I think, of Rusev. And the last thing was Miz TV. The Miz had Maurice as his, let's do it together, guest on the show. And, they talked about the struggles of beating Brie Bella at Hell in a Cell.
She wrestled her first match back after being 5 months pregnant. 5 months since she gave birth.
Since she gave birth, yeah.
I don't know how hard that is. I've been waiting to give birth for years. Sometimes I struggle to get out of bed in the morning, so I understand her.
You were in bed when I got here, so that kind of doesn't say much for that. No. You've been struggling to get out of bed for the last 15 years, I think.
Pretty much, mate. Yeah. So
yeah, they this was very very talk showy. Like I know it is a talk. I'm not getting away from that, but it was
very
daytime TV sort of thing.
Yeah, it seemed very reality scripted, much like Miz and Mrs.
Oh, really?
On the USA Network after SmackDown Live every Tuesday night.
West Coast and East Coast intro. Yeah.
So in this segment, Miz revealed that The Miz will be facing Daniel Bryan at Super Showdown, and the winner gets a WWE Championship opportunity.
Well, that's something to hook your boat on.
Yep.
The fact that AJ Styles is still your WWE champion.
Yep.
If The Miz wins, you got heel face, great. But I mean, I think everyone wants Bryan to beat The Miz.
Yeah,
and so we said
Bryan Styles.
You said
Bryan Joe.
You said,
do you know
Joe,
what?
all four of them.
All four of them. Mind Miz versus AJ. I really wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
I really wouldn't.
They've done that though.
Have they done that?
They did.
They did do
that. Not really.
But I think
they did it, but he was very like, oh, we'll do it, but we're not going to commit to it.
Okay, so out of the 3 participants,
3
other participants start from AJ Styles. So you got Joe, Brian, and Miz. Who do you think will be the next WWE champion?
Out of them 3. Out of them 3. It could be none, but you want me to hang my hat on one of them?
Yeah. Was most likely. I mean, look, there's opportunity for maybe Randy Orton, potentially Jeff Hardy, maybe Shinsuke, maybe. But
I think those 3 are the next in line to the throne. If you want, I think someone has to win it before we get to the Rumble, before we get to Mania, because I think AJ needs to be in the Rumble. I quite like that this year. He hasn't. He's in it for once, and then he's not been in it since. And then he can always win it back at WrestleMania. Joe's work's been phenomenal. No pun intended. Yeah. He really has. Really, really has. I don't know what you guys think, but I must admit, for a while, I have been a massive advocate of The Miz becoming WWE champion. And just, he did such a great job with whatever, the US or the Intercontinental, whatever title, mid-card title he has had, it has elevated.
Yeah.
In whether he was with the B team or whether he was with was the Mr. Raj, whether it was just him and Maurice, he has elevated it to a higher stature.
Most likely to me is Joe. I don't think they're going to put the belt on Brian yet. No. I think they'll save that for Mania, give him another Mania moment.
Yes.
I'd love for Miz to have a nice little short, not a short reign, I'm not saying a month reign, but 2, 3 month, 4 month reign.
He deserves
champ. He deserves something.
He deserves
for his body of work for the last 2-3 years.
10 years. Yeah. Try that.
But
he had one world title run.
Okay, ever since he was with Mizdow, he's gone up. Right, and
look what's happened to the people that Mizdow.
He's re-established the Intercontinental title. He's established the B team.
Yeah,
he's done a lot of work.
He left them in better state than
he's got his own TV show.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine having Miz? 6. Could you imagine having Miz and Mrs. and the star of the show is your WWE World Heavyweight Champion? I mean, come on, guys. That's almost like should we just do that?
Yeah,
should we just do that?
May as well.
So let us know what you think. I think Miz. Go on then. What do you think? Miz, Brian, or
I'll go for Joe as the most likely. I think the next WWE champion.
I thought Joe would win it at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Or Hell in the Cell. Sorry,
but AJ Styles just clung on to that title, so I think
he
might just go over to Samoa Joe Super Showdown.
He did. So technically Joe won that match, but the ref didn't see him. JJ tap. Yeah. So Joe should be champ, and that's the kind of thing that. Actually, Joe's kind of sort of won it. I don't know. Okay, so we're now going to talk. Also, we've got a couple of seconds. Very quickly, Brie didn't come out.
No, but she's on Raw now, isn't she?
Yeah, but
she's a free agent.
She didn't come out. I did find that a bit odd. Like your whole rivalry is one of.
But they
stitched him up. So Brian was lured out, made to think he hurt Maurice. Maurice got up, sprayed pepper spray, Miz, and then you've got the whole. Running in, I'll move, you push into her. Maurice is now down. That might write Maurice out of TV for a little bit.
Yeah, Miz said at the beginning of the segment.
You can turn this back on?
That's fine. Miz said at the beginning of the segment that Maurice is going to take time off now to be with her baby.
And that's...
So she's been written off in my eyes.
Yes.
She might come back for Evolution. She might have a match.
I think she will. I think she will. I think she should.
Yeah, but we'll see. If she's not on it, you could sort of forgive that.
Okay. So yeah, that makes that even if you went into that blind, you could sort of see that kind of happening. Okay, so yeah, and then obviously Brian got the one up and was left with everyone going yes.
Yep.
So the fact that Brie's not there, she's concentrating on Raw.
Yeah.
We leave it to Miz and Brian. Right, here, quick fire, 1 minute each. Let's wait for that to get to 30 seconds, and then we will crack on. Are we ready? Ready? Are you ready?
No.
Are you ready?
No.
I'm ready. Go. Here we go. AJ Styles versus Andrade Cien Almas. Good match.
Yeah.
High on Almas, aren't they?
Very high on Almas. Like any match AJ Styles.
Could Almas be your next WWE champion? Just, throwing it out there.
I'll put it out there now. He will have the briefcase come June next year.
Almas is your Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Quite like that. Is he?
As long as he stays on SmackDown.
Is he under 205?
He might be.
I'm slightly concerned about that, by the way, because it doesn't matter how much.
You want him to cash in on the cruiserweight title?
Could he? It is the cruiserweight world championship.
Technically, it is the world title of that brand.
It's the world title, but super good match. They've done this. They've done this twice now.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'd like to see a third one. Asuka versus Billie Kay. I'm confused, and I'll tell you why. I'm almost certain that it was the Iconics versus Naomi, and Asuka came in and saved Naomi, and they equaled it up. Where was Naomi?
Didn't she not come out with
Asuka? Did she?
I'm pretty sure she did.
Did she?
Yeah.
Did she?
I think you're just going crazy, mate. I'm pretty sure she did. I think she had some glowing green furry jacket.
Oh, maybe she did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you can't spot a girl that's got high vis glowing stuff on TV, maybe wrong with your
that's
eyesight,
awkward then, because I watched the. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it just showed the finish of the highlight package I watched.
Maybe you did.
But
yeah, actually get up on Tuesday morning and watch SmackDown Wednesday
at 1 a.m. or whatever it's on.
Craig.
Okay, fine.
Lazy.
She was there, but I mean, where does Asuka go from here? Like, I know
does Asuka go from here?
She needs to go back, kind of towards. But again, you can't go towards that belt when it's so brilliant right now between Charlotte and Becky. You can't.
Again, but who does Asuka face at Evolution? She has to be on the match.
Funaki.
Funaki's a man.
Gender neutral.
I reckon she's going to face Medusa, Alundra Blaze. Why not? I don't know if she can wrestle, but why not?
No, she might not want to.
Alundra Blaze had very good matches fighting Japanese women.
She did.
So
she must know a bit.
Unless maybe they do Asuka versus Miko Satomura, or someone from a Young Classic.
What's gonna
or Io Shirai, or even Kairi Sane. I mean, Kairi Sane's got Shayna Baszler, but why not? There's plenty of options.
I mean, as far as the women's division now, if you extend it to NXT, it's absolutely stacked. Nice little match, Kofi Kingston versus Cesaro. It's kind of keeping that Bar New Day rivalry kind of just ticking over.
You just put these two in a match if you need to fill a card up, because they'll put on a great show.
Yeah, so. Two veterans of the ring as well. Nice.
I hate the Bars t-shirt. So bad.
What is it? New?
It's meant to be a replica of like a football shirt. They're trying to say.
Oh, that one! I love that. I want it. Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Get out of my house right now.
I'm not just saying. I know exactly. I was like, oh, they got a new shirt. What? Do they sell that? WWE?
I'm pretty sure they do.
I would love that. It's my birthday in November. So I'm not saying that just because you hate it, and that would kind of be cool anyway. But I do like that. It's a football t-shirt and it's wrestling related.
Put a poll out or something.
I will make a new Football Manager save on 19. The bar. It's called the bar. We can base it in like deep Swiss.
Soho.
Steady. And our last point I want to talk about is Randy Orton bullying the tech guy.
Love this.
Proper.
I loved it.
You're hurting me, sir. What about now when he
just squeezed a bit tight? No, that's fine, Mr. Orton.
You can tell the tech guy wasn't much of a good actor.
Well, I don't know if you'd be if you had Randy Orton's arm around your neck.
We got to see the screwdriver bit again.
Mate.
Our text messages when it was happening, it was like, I couldn't actually believe that was happening. I was sitting there like, what the hell
one of the you see something you think, I can't take my eyes off it, but I want to look away, and I
so apparently Jeff Hardy's come out and said that apparently that ear
no feeling
thing, it has more give than you think, but
I hope so.
I was thinking, please don't rip it, and I
thought it was going to come out this way.
Yeah, I thought, oh god, it was disgusting. But anyway, Randy Orton, this new heel persona that he has, the old Randy Orton, shall we say, perfect right now.
Perfect heel.
Where he moves on from Jeff Hardy, I don't know. I think he'll still face Jeff.
I'd like him, and this is going to sound weird, I know they've got to be a star, but I kind of want him just to go around bullying people.
Yeah.
It's quite cool. Quite like watching him bully people. Not tech guys, but like bullying people in the ring.
I know we've seen it before, but could Randy go for a Daniel Bryan?
It's different though. It's different now. Yeah. It's new, but it's different. I'd like to see that. They put on such good matches. Yeah. Okay, so that is our review of Raw and now SmackDown. That went well. What do you think? I don't know what you guys think at home, the new way we've kind of put that together. 3 main points of each show with a nice little bits underneath.
SmackDown's still better than Raw. Raw picked it up.
I think Raw is doing way better than it has been. Yeah, way better than it has been. Raw definitely seems like anything can happen at any point because of stacked roster. Yeah. SmackDown, you are literally. I mean, Randy's only thing was bullying a tech guy, but like you had.
But he was on TV for a minute,
right? And what he did was what we're here. We're still talking about it exactly. So let's have our general chat. We've got about 15 minutes left to have a nice little general chinwag about the week. Do you want to start at NXT?
Let's start with 205 Live.
Okay.
Because I think I might end up rambling on about this. You might have to cut me short.
I'll keep an eye on the time, but 205 Live.
So the news this week, the 205 Live is moving to Wednesday nights.
205 taped.
205 taped.
Taped.
Whether this is a permanent fixture.
Yeah, well.
Because currently right now the mixed match challenge is after SmackDown. So that's why 205 Live isn't live.
So do you think this is for the next... What, 8 weeks, 9 weeks? Because it's a 10.
I think it's 10 weeks, isn't it?
It is. It's 10 weeks, but we've already had 1 week.
Yeah. So I think it might be because of that. But I think I put a tweet up about it. I was like, step 1, they've moved it to Wednesday nights. Perfect. A lead into NXT.
Step 2, add a sprinkle of sugar.
Step 2 for me has always been moving to Full Sail.
You've said that for about a year.
Yeah,
I think.
I've said that
since we started it in January, 9 months ago.
More hardcore fans. People are gonna tape it for a month. People are gonna want to see it. You've then got NXT tapes, you've got 205 Live taped, and then whatever they want to do
also,
as something else to tape. So that's 2 shows that you'd have to go to in a month if you wanted to.
When they did the original one, I always thought that the Cruiserweight title, because of the way everything was sort of changing, I thought the Cruiserweight title was actually going to be part of NXT.
Yeah. And that was my step 3, was have the Cruiserweight title defended at takeovers.
Really?
Because
you got the hardcore fans there.
Yeah. And I said to you at WrestleMania, why not move rather than wasting it on the kickoff show, why not move it to TakeOver the night before? Because you're going to have more eyes on it, technically, in my eyes.
And because at pre-show, place isn't even a quarter full, let alone full.
So I think they want it. Triple H is in charge of it. He's done well since getting it back. I think if he puts it under his NXT umbrella, I think you've got a lot more people that you can use from NXT, that you can transition. You can use people from 205 Live on NXT, which makes NXT better.
Yeah, I do.
And you've got NXT people that go to 205 Live.
I think generally as well, you look at the 205 Live roster. People like Hideo Itami, used to be a kind of a high up NXT guy.
And if he's not doing anything on 205 Live, you can bring him to NXT to maybe have a feud against someone, and vice versa.
Cross promotion. Yeah. In a.
You could technically put Adam Cole on 205 Live if you wanted to boost.
He's like £197.
Yeah. So there's plenty of options there.
I would love so much if you look at Undisputed Era, you could easily have Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish tag champs. Roderick Strong, who is under 205 Live,
because he was in the tournament.
He was. Have him as Cruiserweight champion. Yeah. Have Adam Cole as your NXT main champion. Yeah. And you can even have Kyle O'Reilly again as North American or again. Synergy. Yeah. And there's a lot of unique wrestling in WWE. I think the more they kind of try and compact that, it wouldn't be such a bad thing.
So 205 is a brand now, like where before it's
got a proper general manager.
Yeah, it's got a general manager and it was associated with Raw. It's now not associated with Raw, which we obviously said before. Why the hell is Drew Gulak on Raw?
And Leo Rush's and Drake Maverick.
But their managers, why is Drew Gulak there just to be
because he hates the Shield?
Well, obviously
he hates them so much.
Has a massive reason. They probably spilt his drink when Roman walked down the walkway once. I don't know, but
he knocked over his diet.
That's what I'd like to see to happen. Move it to Full Sail. And then move the Cruiserweight title to NXT takeovers, because
it won't happen.
You do not see that title defended even at pay-per-view.
That won't happen though.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah,
and I think it's a positive.
What do you think What do you think has the chance to happen? I know
it'll stay how it is.
It will stay how it is.
Stay how it is until maybe Triple H gets more power and he moves. He moves it to, probably like I said, because I'm always right. So.
I think moving it to Full Sail and having, because if you do take the shows, you free up the entire Cruiserweight division to go onto Raw, onto SmackDown, onto NXT, live events. Yeah. You can pretty much go, right, you guys actually don't really have a schedule anymore.
You've got the opportunity to move them to the NXT UK taping if they wanted to fill out the roster a little bit more down there.
Like Jack Gallagher.
Exactly. So there's plenty of options there.
Okay, next up. What do you want to talk about next? NXT. Should we talk about Pete Dunne versus Ricochet?
We shall talk about this.
I've ref both of them.
Jesus Christ.
It's true.
You've probably seen them in the showers as well.
I've not seen them in the showers.
Well, why didn't you?
Because that's one step too much.
If you've reffed them. If you got close to their sweaty bodies in the ring. Sweaty bodies.
Oi, what are you looking at,
You'd love to touch their sweaty body.
So, so let's quickly talk. We've got a few minutes. You think that was the match of 2018?
So,
Because I will say my piece. Shall I go first this time?
Let's set the picture. So it was champion versus champion.
Okay, yes, it was.
Right, North American champion. NXT North American champion
versus
WWE UK champion. Please change the WWE part.
Yeah.
Just change. They'll change it.
Sounds so wrong.
They will change it, but
do you think they will?
It. Yeah, they have to.
They have to.
It's the NXT UK.
It's completely out of alignment with the rest of the company.
It's the NXT UK Women's Champion.
Perfect.
So they will change the WWE. Oh, I'm pretty sure they'll change
when they do the okay.
So they had because they've had a little rivalries, like videos, say everything
frenemy
like
kind of thing. Yeah.
They had on NXT this past week, and if you haven't watched it, watch
it.
Go. Half hour.
I hadn't watched it. Yeah, and the next day, I was like, "Could you just go and watch it now?
Yeah.
Don't care what you're doing.
Yeah.
Go and watch it."
Yeah. Now I said match of the year ? To you in a text.
You did,
and you go, yes,
but
there's no finish, so it can't be. And I was like, I hate you because it's true. It can't be match of the year.
Because you never really replied to that. You were like, I suppose so, but you never kind of said yes or no.
It annoyed me because it was, to me, in my eyes, so far, that's match of the year.
And when that match got announced, I thought, right, because this is taped, and as much as we don't like...
And it was for the titles as well.
It was. This isn't like some sort of... We're going to have champion versus champion, but neither one can win, so we'll either do a double DQ or a double count out or a double... We'll figure something out and we'll work it so neither of them lose their belts. And I thought that's how we were going to go into it, even if it wasn't for the titles. It was for the titles. And the way that got to this match, I was just like, the Undisputed Era are so going to be dicks, and they're so going to ruin this match. From a kayfabe standpoint, and they're so going to be in this match, and they're going to come and and they did, and they did. I was kind of waiting for that to happen because the match went on for such a long time. What they did, and I think this is so difficult to do, especially for someone like us, how much we think we know about wrestling and love about wrestling. And I guess even someone for like me who's been in wrestling and done it a bit.
Didn't you ref these two?
I did actually. Yes.
Right, okay, cool.
See, it's all going in.
Yeah.
For us to be, we believed it, and to make us believe that there actually might have been a winner.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I completely forgot that the Undisputed Era, because in my head I was like,
this match is going to happen.
Yeah.
Who do you think was when we were getting near the end? Did you think Sugar, Ricochet, or
I was like, who are they actually going to drop the title to? I thought they'd drop Pete Dunne's title.
So I thought the other way around. I thought there's no way they can this early can have a non-UK guy.
I think even Nigel McGuinness said it on commentary.
He said it'd be awful.
Yeah. Could you imagine Pete Dunne not having the UK title before? Then obviously when you realise you've seen some of the spoilers at the NXT UK that Pete Dunne still has a title, so it wasn't going to happen.
And who the NXT Women's UK, which we know, and you probably know as well.
Yeah.
But again, because this is a tape show, I thought if one of these guys has won both belts,
it'd be a massive spoiler. Major title change, like Ciampa's title.
Triple H would have tweeted it, like that's how big it would have been.
Yeah.
So. And it would have been one of those ones that gets put on WWE.com and everyone's like, oh, actually, there isn't.
It's like when Moustache Mountain won the titles.
When we were there. Yeah, but that was already public knowledge, and that wasn't going to be aired for another week. Yeah. So, it's one of those things where you don't want to know. Again, social media for the worst reasons.
Yeah.
But there's other reasons.
So I completely forgot during this match that the Undisputed Era were going to interfere in this match somehow.
You when it happened, you were like, oh yeah, that was going to happen, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I forgot they were going to.
Which is great. This is what exactly, I mean. Yeah, they let us. It's
such a great match. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it.
These
two are just absolutely phenomenal. I think they tweeted out a picture of them as well, that wrestling at a UK show a couple of years ago.
Ref Pro.
That's it.
Ref Pro. Yeah. Ref Pro.
So,
that was the only meeting to this point.
Rest of NXT was alright.
Yeah, there was an entire hour of TV, guys. Don't discriminate that. Let's very, very briefly, very, very quickly talk about Mixed Match Challenge, and then we'll go on to the Mae Young Classic.
Okay.
So Mixed Match Challenge.
Cool.
Good stuff. Right. So
Mae Young Classic.
There's been lots of changes, and I don't know why. So Ember Moon is in for Alexa Bliss.
Yep. Don't worry, Alexa's not going.
Is she off?
She's on.
I'll unplug her.
She's always on, mate.
I've just turned her off. I do that. I do that. It's cool.
I'm very talented. Ember Moon took over Bliss. That doesn't seem like it's a permanent one. Bliss could come back apparently.
But they've named the team Eclipse. Monster Eclipse.
Total Eclipse. But yeah, so I think Bliss may end up coming back. She's apparently got an arm injury. I think they're just protecting her for Trish.
Alicia Fox is in
for who?
Ooh,
she was with Jinder, right?
No. Who? Someone else has been swapped in.
Yeah,
Sasha's gone out.
Sasha's gone, but she's been replaced by Jesus, this is what mixed match challenge. It's just pointless.
So Kevin Owens and Natty versus Ember and Braun.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Oh no. AJ and Charlotte beat
Jimmy or Jay
versus and Naomi.
Yeah.
So they were there. Yeah.
So there's been a few injuries and they've changed things up.
Last year got changed so much.
I like the idea of the mixed match challenge.
It's not gone very well.
It works. The idea of it works. Would mixed tag team champions work better?
Yeah, I think so.
Me too.
Keep it around.
Just defend every pay-per-view.
There's enough male and female marriages, relationships, and teams like an AJ and a Charlotte would work.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Mania Classic. We've got like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Yeah. It's bloody good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I think it's better than last year's one. I think already. With last year's one, they
you knew who was going far last year.
Yeah,
I can't tell yet.
They released it in 4 episodes. They released round 1, and then they released the quarterfinals and semi-finals.
We could literally binge watch it. Yeah.
I prefer it this way. It's the same as the Cruiserweight Classic. It was week after week after NXT.
I just find it more manageable. I mean,
4 matches so far on every show, and next week there'll be another 4.
Yes. I really like it. I think the standard of matches is pretty good. I don't know if I'm surprised. I think it's always nice to see people you've never heard of.
Yeah.
And then they put on really nice matches.
And even people that you have heard of and you see them actually going, do you know what, they were right.
Yeah.
Like Casey Catanzaro, who's the American Ninja Warrior.
How cool was it when she got in the ring?
Yeah, she's very cool. She hasn't wrestled a lot before, but you can see. I was like, oh man, there's something there.
The Indian lady who has
Kavita Devi
wrestled last year. By the way, you're great with these names. Yeah. I can't pronounce this. She was in the last year's Mania Classic, and then the next match was in the women's battle royal at WrestleMania, and now she's back in.
Yeah,
like
she faced Caitlyn.
She did.
And Caitlyn was very, very good.
Didn't she?
She was very good.
Like,
she hadn't lost a beat.
No, and she's been through a lot. A hell of a lot. Unfortunately, got divorced.
And obviously, she looks better than she did from 2014 or wherever she was.
She's evolved, Kieran.
Exactly.
She's evolved.
I think she's. It wouldn't surprise me if they sign her to a full-time contract again.
I hope she gets it. Even if she just ends up being like an enhancement talent, I think she deserves that more than anything. I'm going to piss in everyone's frosties for 5 minutes now.
Yeah, got it.
2 things.
Yeah.
One, they did the same storyline twice. And I know you're thinking, Craig, it's a tournament. Where's the storylines? Well, they did the big versus little thing twice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know one was done on like week 1 and one was done, I think, week 3. So, okay. But if you've
binged watch it like yourself,
like I did, like we're probably not supposed to, then it's like super obvious. Also, super funny little bit. They kept putting people in front of where what's Bailey's mini me called?
Yeah, Izzy.
Yeah. They kept putting people in front of her. Yeah. So like, I like 2 seconds ago, like I don't know, Leo Rush was sat there, and now 2 seconds later,
it's just basically
like Natty sat there.
Come down to Full Sail, and we'll just put you in the crowd. So like, some of it makes sense, obviously.
Leo Rush was there though.
Leo Rush, Cedric Alexander was there for his missus.
That was how sweet was that when she lost and he cried.
So we haven't got long left, so get to your point. That you want to make.
And the other one I want to make is that so if there's a massive world title, I'll go to the men. The men have a big world title match. We'll use Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar at 19, right? They had a massive match, big feud. You know what? They shook hands and they had a little embrace. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. It happens very, very few and far between. Little fist bump maybe. A respect handshake, done.
Yeah.
I can't but help think that people might like... I mean, I love women's wrestling, so I'm not sitting here saying it's crap. It's, I don't believe in it. I do.
Yeah.
One of my favourite matches of all time is Bayley versus Sasha.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Well, I cried when Bayley won the title. It was amazing.
It's okay, mate.
No, I'm not bullshit. I did, and it was brilliant. But I can't stand all the time, and it happens so often when they all hug each other afterwards, and it happens. I know it's not every match. I'm not saying it's every match, but it happens more often than not.
It's overdone, just like there's loads of things overdone.
Yeah,
Quick point before we wrap up.
Play the other side, because I'm just trying to do it in a nice way. I get it,
because obviously it's the evolution.
Yeah, I'm trying, and I respect, and I know what they mean.
Yeah, he's right. So, like the Killer Kelly Miko Satomura one, perfect, because it's a legend and it's an up and comer, perfect. Right, but if you keep overdoing it, it doesn't mean as much.
You've just got beat, and you've just got beat, and you lost in a tournament.
Yeah.
You can't be that happy. No. Like, seriously.
So,
hug backstage. That's cool.
Out of every... okay, so you probably know most of the participants. We still got 4 more in the first round next week. Who wins? I don't know if you've seen spoilers. Have you seen spoilers?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen spoilers.
I desperately want either.
My pick, I'll go for Toni Storm.
Oh, you bastard. I'll go Tegan then.
Yeah.
AKA Nixon Newell.
She's not going to win, by the way.
She's not. I think Toni Storm is as well. So I come. Okay, so guys, that has been Dirt Sheet Mania this week. I've been your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson. He's been the Director of Creativity. I can now procrastinate now because we have smashed through that in 59 minutes and a half. We've not even hit to an hour yet.
Surprise, surprise.
And we've got everything in.
You have.
Do you think the new system works?
Yeah, I think so.
Let
us know what you think at Dirt Sheet Mania on Twitter.
Rise above hate, guys.
Rise above hate.
Good message for life. Guys, Chief and the Director, thanks very much. We'll see you next weekend. Have a brilliant week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Dilly dilly.